Dramatic footage of a confrontation with security forces. The Hungarian opposition politician's car is rammed and the attacker's vehicle flips over. The scene is symbolic for present-day Hungary. Anyone who gets close to Viktor Orbán's inner circle risks more than just a political dispute. Exposing the Orbán family's wealth to the public can be life-threatening. I know them too. Some of them are quite normal people, but there was the one guy who punctured our tires. Security guards follow opposition politician Ákos Hodházy wherever he goes, as soon as he comes anywhere near the Orbán family's estate. The reason lies hidden behind high walls and fences. It was only by chance that he discovered the huge estate, which was meant to remain hidden from view. Behind the walls, shielded by security guards, lies a lavish, newly built mansion that officially belongs to the father of Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán. According to Ákos Hodházy, it was built with embezzled tax money. Rarely does the Orbán family display its wealth so openly. Officially, Orbán is a very poor man. He has no money, he has no assets. His assets are held by other people, family and friends. We can only estimate the value of that wealth. But one thing is clear. The assets that are visible are worth several billion euros. Viktor Orbán has been in office for 16 years now and governs the country in an authoritarian manner. During this time in power, his family, friends and close party allies have become very wealthy. Orbán has long been presiding over a state oligarchy. The Financial Times found that just 13 individuals in Orbán's inner circle secured 28 billion euros worth of government contracts. One of the biggest beneficiaries, Orbán's childhood friend, Lőrinc Mészáros. The former gas fitter is now the richest man in Hungary. He made his billions through what appeared to be cleverly manipulated bids rigged in his favor, combined with inflated bids. He awarded the contracts for the supply of building materials to Viktor Orbán's father. The majority of the funding for the construction projects comes from the European Union budget. Viktor Orbán's son-in-law, István Tiborcs, also became a wealthy man through government contracts. He owns numerous properties in prime locations across the country. Among them, the famous Gellert Hotel, right on the Danube in the center of Budapest. Daniel Freund, a member of the European Parliament's Committee on Budgetary Control, has done the math. Since Orbán has been in power, the EU has sent 80 billion euros to Hungary, and corruption experts estimate that at least a quarter of that, 20 billion euros, has been stolen, specifically by Orbán's son-in-law, his school friend and his father. That's the circle of people who have siphoned off the money for Orbán. The MEP is a member of a non-partisan EU delegation that investigated allegations of corruption in Budapest. Following days of talks with representatives of the Hungarian government, billions of euros in EU funds were frozen. Another German MEP, Monika Hohlmeier, met with foreign business leaders behind closed doors. They told her about cases of coercion, extortion and expropriation. The companies said they'd had visits from intelligence agencies and were being subjected to hundreds of inspections, while also being met with completely absurd requirements. And every time you look at the background, you get the impression that yet another friendly oligarch is benefiting. The most prominent victim of Orbán's economic policies is Vodafone. Following a massive tax hike, the company was forced to sell its Hungarian operations to a local oligarch. Another case? Through special tariffs and mandated production restrictions, foreign companies in the construction industry were forced to cede market share to Orbán allies. Most business owners remain silent about these incidents. This Austrian entrepreneur has had enough, however. He sold motorcycles in Hungary and ran a repair shop. To that end, he built a commercial building about 140 kilometers west of Budapest. After several successful years, he suddenly began receiving exorbitant electricity bills totaling around 20,000 euros. At the same time, he was declared bankrupt by a liquidator. A gang of thugs took care of the rest.
2017, Anfang Juli,
It was July 2017. 15 men, some of them armed, showed up early in the morning, forced their way into the building, compelled our employees to leave, and then blocked all the entrances with chains. That was the last time I was there. After I was personally threatened with violence, I stopped going there myself. For the best part of a decade, he's been trying to bring the masterminds behind this cold expropriation to justice in Hungarian courts. And he has a hunch who the perpetrators behind the scenes are. These are local power brokers who have significantly increased their influence over the past 16 years due to links with the Orbán government. They've been able to conduct their business here unhindered with the help of public institutions, such as the courts, government agencies, and the tax authorities. In many industries in Hungary, it's a case of might is right. The Austrian entrepreneur's commercial building is estimated to be worth around 500,000 euros. So who owns it now? It's business as usual in the store and the workshop, but no one here is willing to comment on the ownership situation. No videos, please. Corruption and the uncertain legal framework in the country are making Hungary increasingly unattractive to foreign investors, especially small and medium-sized enterprises. The country ranks among the lowest in Eastern Europe in terms of economic growth, and the business climate is at rock bottom.
If you see every day that the people who succeed are those who can establish close enough connections to the political elite and not those who work hard, who are talented, who study very hard, then that just undermines long-term economic growth very deeply.
But Viktor Orbán does have plenty of supporters. To rally voters behind him, he devises foreign enemies during the campaign. On the one hand, there's the European Union. On the other, Ukraine, which is under attack by Russia. Not a word about corruption and nepotism within his own ranks. His supporters like that. I have absolutely no problem with Orbán. I have nothing negative to say. I don't see people starving here. Everything's fine. There's too much wealth in private hands. Criminal activity within the ruling party isn't being properly investigated. A lot is being swept under the rug. Péter Magyar is the leader of the Tisza Party and is ahead in the election polls. He presents himself as pro-European and promises to fight corruption. A victory for him would mark a fresh start after the Orbán era. The election campaign is being fought with hardball tactics. According to some Hungarian media reports, Orbán is even using intelligence agencies to discredit his opponent. Magyar's slogan, now or never. This is Hungary's last chance to become an honourable country again. I'm done with this old system. What's happening here is a nightmare. I see Magyar as the only chance for things to change. This election finds Hungary at a crossroads. Either it continues down the same path with Orbán and his system of corruption, oligarchs and cronyism, or it makes a fresh start as a pro-European country, re-establishing the rule of law and ushering in a new generation of politicians.